Hello everyone, this is G1TNG here with Pay or Play to Win, and in this episode I'll be covering the European version of Aion. The general idea of this show is that I play a free-to-play MMO and help you to determine if the game is fair for those that don't wish to pay. Can you run the strongest legion or guild on the server without having to pay a single cent, or is free-to-play simply an illusion to cover a pay-to-win system? In Aion, there are surprisingly two different systems in place for NCSoft to make a living off, both a cash shop and a subscription plan. Can NCSoft balance these two systems and keep the game fair for all while still earning a profit? It's time for me to run you through what both of these systems entail and ultimately to decide if I believe the game is pay or play to win. And since everyone is familiar with a cash shop, we'll hop straight over to the website, since you can't access the shop in game, and check out some of the more notable items on sale. Now, the cash shop is a relatively fair option for non-buyers in the respect that there are very few items in here that are overpowered. However, it can be rather expensive for those that do use it. You're looking at 100 coins for 10 euros or 13 USD. Now, you could alternately double the coin income by getting the bulk pack, of course, for 100 euros or 130 USD. I'm going to be using the 100 coin pack as a comparison because not many people are going to be using the bulk pack. If you did get the 100 coin pack, remember this is 10 euros, you could get a single name change. Or you could get plastic surgery and have a little bit left over, but pretty much can't buy anything else in the store. Now, personally, I wouldn't use it on items like these because that is a massive waste of money. 10 euros for a name change is absolutely ridiculous. But let's move on to pets. Alright, pets. Well, these are quite expensive. You're looking at 8 euros or about 10 USD each. Alright, that's fine. You know, if you want to have something that someone else doesn't have, that's cool. Some of these pets are unique to the item store, exclusively available in the shop for this one, but some of them can be found in-game. I did notice at the bottom here, there was a red Diablo egg. This one here would cost you about 26 US dollars for a pet. That is extremely overpriced for a digital item, if I do say so. Let's just move on to customization. To tell you the truth, I'm not impressed by the prices on the headgear here. Looking at about 3 euros just for a single halo, no. Let's move on down though here. We've got some emotion cards. You can hug other players for about 2 euros. That's alright, I guess. We've also got dyes. You can dye a single piece of armor deep blue for about 3 euros, and then you can get true black for 10 euros for a single piece of armor. That is rather excessive for some black dye, but hey, you know, it obviously people will know that you're rather unique from the other players. You can get some wedding dresses or a tuxedo if you're holding a wedding in game for 10 euros again. And some dresses and different styled shirts for about 7 euros each. And, you know, generally speaking, that's probably going to be about 8 USD, 9 USD. It all depends. Obviously, if you use a VPN network, that's what you would be paying. In this version of the game, it's probably different in the North American version. But let's move on to the experience boost section. And now we move on to one of the most important parts of a free-to-play shop, something to cut time. When you don't have time to play an MMO, you want to spend money to speed up the progress and catch up to other players. For 4 euros, you're looking at a bundle of 5, which would last you about 10 hours total, of an additional 20% extra XP. Now, that's not double experience, that's literally just 20%. For 4 euros. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd buy that. However, it seems to me that that is one of the most useful items in the store, and it's not priced terribly bad. The administrator's boon here. This here stops you from losing experience when you die. That's quite useful. And you can travel through all of Atria for the bargain price of 1 gold. So from town to town, from area to area, for 1 gold per turn, and you don't lose the experience. For a 15-day pass, you're looking at 10 euros. The item itself is great, but I don't think the price is. I think that's rather expensive, to be perfectly honest. For the revival stones, now these are consumed as soon as you use them. You get 1 use out of them. For 5 stones, you're looking at €8, or about 10 USD, and they can instantly revive you on the spot or an ally. Now, I wouldn't pay €8 for a set of 5 revival stones. That just seems extremely excessive to me, but the item is good to have. Let's move on to the premium section. I'm going to skip the instance section because they all range from about 3 to 5 USD for varying instance cooldown reduction rates, when in reality you're better off buying the premium pack, which is actually the subscription service, which we'll talk about in game. And now for the real meat of Aion's free-to-play service, the subscription. For €10 or 13 USD, you gain access to instant cooldown times of up to 80 hours, an additional 6 character slots, and access to your Legion warehouse, plus full access to the mailbox system and all chat options. Now, by themselves, these all don't seem that bad. However, then you hit the brick wall. Here comes the trade brokers, or rather the auction house. Let's go in here and try to buy something. Consumables, food, let's go something cheap. Let's go for a savory melon, and let's buy that. However, because I am on the starter pack, I cannot use the trade broker. Well, oh, that's fine. Let's set up a private store. I've got to go to school or work today. Alright, I'm going to sell a mana stone, but apparently I can't open a private store either. You cannot actually buy from a private store. You cannot trade directly with another player either. You right-click their avatar and you hit trade request. You get the trade window up. You can't put an item in there, much like you cannot buy an item from the trade broker. It's rather painfully obvious that you're locked out from some of the features that every single MMO that I have played has and relies on. There is no way that you could possibly be a top player in an MMO when someone has instant cooldown times, plus they also gain the ability to trade any items they find from those instances. If you are very, very patient when playing Aion, no doubt you can make yourself a nice strong character, but someone could come along and buy a few months worth of the subscription and easily catch up to you within those 2 months, while you would have spent a couple of about 6 or 7, 8 months even longer to attain that, which really stinks in my honest opinion. When you think about it, you need to pay the subscription fee to unlock essential components that every MMO has. And ultimately, that means to me that in order to win, because that's what this show is about, in order to actually win in an MMO, be the strongest character in a server, you need to pay the subscription fee. There is no way around it. You can be a strong character, but you certainly can't be the best. This has been G1TNG, and Aion's free-to-play system requires you to pay to win. Thanks for watching. Please do leave a like and a comment below to tell me how I can improve.